Hey up everybody, welcome back to my Rugby League History channel, hope you're all well. Tonight I'm going to be talking about the worst NRL teams that didn't get the wooden spoon. So I'm talking about teams that were really poor, but they just didn't come last. Another team come last. I've been doing a couple of wooden spoon videos over the last couple of days, hope you've been enjoying those. Before I get into this video though, I'm currently at 576 subscribers, looking to get to 600 by the end of January. My original goal was to get to 500 by the end of January. I smashed that. I think I'm doing a smashing job considering the fact that I don't have expensive equipment, I don't have connections. I'm not like your Clarkie's NRL column or BKR Sports. I don't have the money, the finances, the connections, all that keeper behind me. All I've got is just a cheap iPhone and just the knowledge in my head. So hope you're enjoying the channel, and if you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. So getting back into this video, I've named 5 teams tonight. I'm going to work my way from number 5 up to number 1, and I'm going to be bringing you the worst NRL teams to not come last. So coming in at number 5 is North Queensland in 2001. They finished the year with 6 wins and 2 draws. They finished on equal points with the Wooden Spoons that year that were Penrith. They had a better for and against than Penrith of 69 points. To put that into perspective, in one match Penrith lost 68 points to 18 against Newcastle, and in the opening round of the year they were beaten by Parramatta 40 points to 4. So pretty much 2 games where Penrith were flogged gave them the wooden spoon. And North Queensland consider themselves lucky in 2001 that they didn't come last, because Penrith actually won more matches than North Queensland. North Queensland managed to avoid the wooden spoon with just that narrow for and against. Coming in at number 4 was North Queensland again in 2010. Now they had a shocking year in 2010. They had a few problems off the field. They had a high player turnover. Jonathan Thurston, I think, was also injured that year. They played 24 matches. They only had the 5 wins. They finished on 14 points. But they didn't come last because Melbourne were involved in that salary scandal, as we all know. We all know what happened there. They were stripped of all their points. They were made to come last. But if Melbourne weren't given that penalty, North Queensland would have finished last with the wooden spoon by a country mile. They finished 4 points behind Cronulla, who finished in second last place if there was going to be North Queensland at the bottom. And then they finished 8 points behind the team that come in 14th. So they were a mile behind those sides. And between round 9 and round 26, they only won 3 matches. So they had a very poor year in 2010. And I think North Queensland can once again consider themselves lucky that they didn't come last. Coming in at number 3 is the South Sydney side of 2002. Like North Queensland in 2010, South didn't come last solely for the fact that Canterbury were found guilty of salary cap breaches. They were stripped of all the points that they earned throughout the year. But South finished in second last place that year. They played 24 matches, they had 5 wins, they conceded 817 points. They finished 4 points behind West Tigers, who come in 14th place. 7 times throughout the year they were beaten by 40 points or more, and then in 3 straight matches they were beaten by 50 points plus. So a very tough year for South Sydney coming back into the competition in 2002. At number 2 is the Manly Warringah side of 2018. They finished in second last place above Parramatta, who come in last. They finished 2 points ahead of them. They conceded 622 points throughout the year. They had 7 wins. In 3 of their matches they conceded more than 40 points, and in 6 of their games they conceded more than 30 points. So defence was a real issue for Manly in 2018. They had a very poor year, and I think also they can consider themselves lucky that they didn't come last, because in 2018 they had the salary cap scandal. Now, with other salary cap teams in the past that have gone over, Canterbury, Parramatta and Melbourne, they've had points deducted, but for some reason Manly weren't deducted of points because Todd Greenberg claimed that in 2018, the year that the penalty was handed down, that they weren't over in 2018, so they were compliant, but I think the 3 or 4 years prior to that they were over. So Manly can consider themselves quite lucky that they weren't deducted any points whatsoever in 2018 for that salary cap breach, but they come in at number 2. And coming in at number 1 is the Canterbury Bankstown side last year in 2020. They finished the year with 3 wins, just the 3 wins. They beat St George, which is now to write home about. They beat Newcastle and they beat South Sydney towards the end of the year. They conceded 505 points for the year, which is actually not too bad for a side that's way down the bottom of the ladder. But in a lot of their games, they were truly awful. I mean, they were a very boring side to watch. They weren't a good side to watch, Canterbury. It was like watching paint dry. They weren't very good. The reason why they avoided the wooden spoon last year and Brisbane got it is because they had a slightly better for and against. They finished 134 points better off than Brisbane. And when you actually think back at Brisbane's wooden spoon year, that 134 points, I mean, they got whacked by Eastern Suburbs Sydney Roosters by 50 points in 2 matches, and they also conceded 48 points unanswered against West Tigers. So those 3 games pretty much gave Brisbane the wooden spoon. And I think Canterbury can consider themselves quite lucky that they actually avoided the spoon, considering that they only won 3 matches all year. I think that's pretty poor. But anyway, that's me worst NRL teams that did not win the wooden spoon. I hope you enjoyed that list. If you did, make sure you click that like button. And if you have not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel. I'm currently at 576 subscribers, looking to get to 600 by the end of January. Anyways, this is Rugby League History signing off, and I'll catch us all later in the next video. Alright, tatty bye everyone.